Ed Warren and Lorraine Warren are displayed as the film begins, who share their otherworldly and paranormal involvement with a meeting. In the following scene, Carolyn Perron and Roger Perron who are moving in a house with their children. Their all children go into the house, yet their terrified canine is reluctant to go into the house. They have 5 little girls named Andrea, Nancy, Christine, Cindy and April. April observes a music box under a major tree having a changed mirror. While playing, stow away and applaud. A pine wood is broken by the different young ladies. That pine wood was fixed to cover an entryway. Behind it, their father observes a storeroom loaded with murkiness which comprises a piano with other old-fashioned things. Their upset canine consistently bark. Next morning, Carolyn has many spots of wounds on his foot. Their clocks are as yet set to 3:07, and their dead canine is found outside by April. Next scene happens in Apparition Historical Center of Ed Warren, where press correspondent is likewise present with Ed. Where Warren is illuminating columnist that each current things in exhibition hall is spooky or have been utilized in black magic. These phantoms come here for love one time per month. Ed then, at that point, tells about Annabelle doll. They tell, this doll has a shrewd power which involves it as a source. From there on, farmhouse is shown where the clock doesn't function as it strikes 3:07. Furthermore, insidious happening happen at the specific time. Furthermore, somebody pulls Christine's foot during her rest on her bed. Furthermore, she additionally feels a foul smell. Cindy is sleepwalker, so comes to in Andreas' room in this state. Furthermore, hits her head with closet bafflingly. Following day, one more injury spot is showed up on the assortment of Carolyn. At the point when Roger heads outside, he notices a dead pigeon which tumbles from the tree. He is amazed seeing it. This event shows the catching of a fiendish power there. April and Carolyn are distant from everyone else at home. April is seen chatting with another undetectable thing. April then, at that point, requests to play Stow Away and Clap. When Carolyn moves to Andreas' room looking for her, the closet is opened there naturally. Furthermore, somebody applauds bringing his hands outside the closet. Carolyn is amazed on it yet generally disregards. A while later, somebody pulls the foot of Christine all the more capably during rest and she feels alarm. She notices somebody remaining behind the entryway who takes steps to kill her and all family. Nancy is additionally with her yet nothing is apparent before her. Be that as it may, foul smell is felt. Then, at that point, Christine tells it to Roger and all family. Carolyn is shown having many spots of wounds on her body. She then, at that point, hears the hints of children's playing. All children are resting in their rooms as she checks. Be that as it may, a weird happening happens as all photograph outlines are fallen and broken naturally. Then, at that point, she hears a sound of young lady. Hearing her, she follows. Coming to approach storm cellar. The entryway of storm cellar is consequently opened. Going in the cellar, when Carolyn attempts to escape, its entryways are naturally shut. Carolyn is dropped from the steps, and a ball is tossed to her by somebody. Carolyn again attempts to get away, however obscurity wins there. Then, at that point, Carolyn bursts the matchstick to make thing apparent. An applauding young lady is startling her at the rear. Carolyn is captured there. Coming to in Andreas' room, Cindy is hitting her head with a pantry. Seeing it, Andrea takes Cindy to her bed for rest. Abruptly, the entryway of that closet is consequently opened. Andrea opens the closet for checking. A female phantom is at the potential gain of closet and assaults on her. Roger arrives at there immediately and hears the crying sound of somebody and environmental factors. Most importantly, he opens the entryway of storm cellar, removing Carolyn. Coming external the storm cellar, both go higher up and assemble their kids at a spot. Presently they are for the most part apprehensive. In next scene, a college is displayed in which Ed Warren is conveying a talk on supernaturalism. Furthermore, Carolyn is likewise there as a listener. After address, Carolyn moves to Ed Warren and Lorraine Warren, welcoming them to her home. On it, Ed and Lorraine go to her home. Carolyn and Roger uncovers the entire story. That the situation are going more terrible. They tell the house smells. The entryway is thumped threefold in an evening and furthermore shut in morning time. Furthermore, coming bird in house bird is tracked down dead in their nursery. All clocks of house are halted at 3:07. Ed reacts them. These events are the sign of fallen angel's essence here. Lorraine looks at that apparition which was prodding this family. Then, at that point, Lorraine uncovers, this house is the abode of an enormous villain. Coming here, she had recognized them. This is a dark villain's strong soul. She tells that she had seen the dim figure behind Carolyn, Roger and all kids. The dull figure of Phantom is with them which bothers them. This has stayed with them. Assuming they leave, this won't quit seeking after them. Ed then, at that point, illuminates them. Exorcism will be performed here and for it they need an approval from Chapel. Right off the bat, they need to give proof to Chapel and afterward it will be permitted. Lorraine tells, there are various apparition and one of them is shrewd-hearted. What's more, Ed plays the recorded around evening time yet hears just his voice. There is no recording of Roger and Carolyn. What's more, Lorraine tells the historical backdrop of this spot to Ed. As a man had assembled a farmhouse here. He wedded a lady who used to have confidence in dark craftsmanship. Indeed, even she was a spellcaster in it. Her name was Bathsheba and she planned to kill a fallen angel. What's more, consuming her 7 days youngster, Bathsheba had forfeited him. What's more, when her better half became observer of her doing, running outside, she ended it all draping herself with a tree. After this episode, numerous passings happened there as a youngster named Rory was lost. Suffocating in his sorrow, her mom ended it all in that house's storeroom. In any case, a neighbor likewise ended it all and a youngster was dead suffocating in a pool there. During their discussion, recorder is played itself. Presently Ed's voice is heard with Phantom's awful strong. Presently the clock strikes 3:07. Ed and Lorraine go to Roger's home following day and accumulate all confirmations. With the goal that they might show it to Chapel. A police office and a kid Brad help them setting the voice recorder and cameras in-house environmental factors. What's more, Lorraine sees the Carolyn family photograph inside and utilizing her power, comprehends this extraordinary snapshot of making. What's more, Ed sprinkles the blessed water in all rooms to disturb the naughty powers assuming are available there. Furthermore, its activity might record. Unexpectedly, storm cellar entryway is opened. Ed and Lorraine move there. Yet, there isn't anything as they attempt to come outside. The entryway is consequently closed. They don't get proof. Tracking down nothing at that evening. And all are taking breakfast joyfully next morning. Ed shares with Carolyn to have some rest. I will oversee everything with Lorraine. Whenever Lorraine is drying the garments, she sees standing Bathsheba behind the dress. Unexpectedly, that dress flies and is left with the bedroom window of Carolyn. As the dress is revealed, Lorraine sees the phantom of Bathsheba. Before Lorraine shows up there, Bathsheba charms her. Furthermore, now the fiendish minutes are started. Furthermore, these terrible detestable spirits. From the get-go, Cop Brad hears a young lady's voice and quickly he sees the housekeeper Phantom who was suicider. Furthermore, it alarms the cop. Furthermore, Nancy then, at that point, goes to Andreas' room in sleepwalking and that room entryway is locked. Nancy's sleepwalking photographs are caught by cameras. Clearly there was somebody with the exception of Nancy. At the point when Nancy is in the room, she hears a child's voice, "Conceal yourself." All run towards that room yet they find neither a youngster nor Nancy. Ed is looking with the light and tracks down her in a vacant spot between two dividers. April illuminates Lorraine. When Rory is apprehensive, conceals himself there. Lorraine promptly comes to at that spot. She notices the child's toys, melodic spot and a rope that Bathsheba had utilized in her self-destruction. Suddenly a wood is broken there which reasons for Lorraine's fall. Also she moves into a storeroom. Investigating the music box, she sees sharply sobbing soul of Rory's mom. Rory's mom Phantom vanished saying, "It requested that I do accordingly." Bathsheba's apparition is likewise there which startles Lorraine as she attempts to run. It inverts her pulling her necklet. That necklet is dropped down and broken. This was given by her little girl named Judy whose photograph is changed in memento. Running outside, Lorraine tells that charming, these detestable spirits compel moms to end the existence of their youngster. She tells. Presently it is beguiling Carolyn, and Phantom is the reason for twisted spots on her body. Unexpectedly crosses are fallen on floor and somebody strangely pulls the hair of Nancy, hauling her back and forth. In any case, they save Nancy effectively. They choose to take off from this house. On it, Ed illuminates Roger that they will address everything before chapel for expulsion of house. In the interim, Lorraine hears her girl Judy's voice and sees her dead body in the pool. She is scared seeing it. She is became vexed for her girl and tells to Ed about it, calling it a sign. In coming day, Ed and Lorraine advise the entire happened occurrences of house to father, showing all verifications. They have additionally the photograph of sleepwalking Nancy. Along her the soul of standing Rory is likewise there. Father illuminates. They should accept consent of expulsion from other authority since they are non-Catholics. Presently Ed and Lorraine's little girl Judy is shown. The phantom of Bathsheba compasses to her through her memento. It pulls the foot of Judy, arousing her. She is got apprehensive and comes outside looking for her dad and mom. We additionally know here that Annabelle doll is vanished in their apparition gallery. Judy is apprehensive. Simultaneously Bathsheba is likewise seen there keeping the Annabelle doll in her lap. Bathsheba unnerves and attempts to hurt Judy. Yet, Ed and Lorraine show up there at the specific efficient the existence of their little girl. On the opposite side, Carolyn is taking Christine and April alongside her. Knowing it, Roger illuminates Ed in a flash. Carolyn tells, I am going to that house since this large number of insidious powers make moms to kill their kids through charm. All get once again to that house. Carolyn is almost to kill Christine as they arrive at there. However, they spare the existence of Christine and seat her in vehicle. Seeing this event, April conceals herself in a spot in dread. As they attempt to bring Carolyn out the house, in the interim Phantom means to hurt her, halting. Lorraine gets the point as Carolyn heads outside. She will be dead by apparition. That villain hauls Carolyn into storeroom. They attempt to save Carolyn going into the storeroom. Yet, villain turns her condition most horrendously awful with its power, so it was not a drop in the bucket to conquer it. On the opposite side, Cop is looking through April in the house. Carolyn isn't anybody's control. Furthermore, she assaults on everybody individually. They affix Carolyn with a seat. Noticing her condition, Ed chooses to perform expulsion. As Ed starts exorcism, this fiend Bathsheba has lost its control and underhanded powers are more reinforced. In any case, Ed keeps on performing expulsion. Presently a bizarre scene is displayed in which fiend lifts the seat up in air, halting expulsion. Falling that seat, breaks it. Thus Carolyn is detached. Furthermore, she attempts to assault Ed in an unexpected way. Simultaneously, Thomas tracks down April. Knowing the secret spot of April, Carolyn continues to kill her. Before Carolyn kills her, Ed achieves his expulsion, arriving at there. Making vow by Ed, Bathsheba consents to leave. Also Carolyn is as yet beguiled by Satan. Lorraine and Roger then, at that point, help her. They sustain her with the recollections of her youngsters and family, so she might battle with this phantom. In the end, the adoration for his family with her children is won. Furthermore, that underhanded apparition reluctantly liberates Carolyn and departs. Also Carolyn comes to her typical state and all start to carry on with their lives joyfully. What's more, April returns Lorraine's memento and Ed puts that music in close his exhibition hall. Here the film closes.